perfectly again. There's 500 pounds of fuel behind him. That's Kenny Irwin in the black 2 car. He's on the inside of Jimmy Kite, so the 2 camera cars starting side by side. Kenny Irwin, by the way, rode his brand new Harley to the racetrack, and I'm very proud of that thing, too, let me tell you.
Been hanging around with those NASCAR guys. You know, that's the big rage in Winston Cup,
yeah.
is to have yourself a Harley. Kenny, a recent winner in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series, moving down south, becoming the latest of the Thunder graduates to move into that division. So it's going to be 100 laps here tonight. The yellow laps will count until we get down to the end. The last 2 laps got to be green. And Keeker will be the guy starting them from the pole. He knows how to drive a Silver Crown car, but so too does Davey Hamilton. Green's in the air. We're underway. Clean start. Keeker got a good jump.
He did get a good jump. You can see those guys when they first got on the throttle, they were wavering a little bit. All that fuel back there is a little bit heavy. They're going to have to be a little bit careful the first part of the race with that fuel hanging over the back. Sometimes these cars want to push just a little bit through the middle of the corner. Boy, those 2 guys, though, don't seem like they're taking it too easy. They're running side by side.
Hamilton gets challenged by Abold in the first of the white cars. We said you got a bunch of them. 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th. Abold, Sills, Hewitt, and Irwin will be tough to keep straight.
Man, oh man, there's a little bit of a banging around back there in the back, and a couple of guys got up, looked like the 5-car Kosick got up, hit the wall a little bit. Everybody avoided him and kept on going.
Kosick starting out back here as we go on board and chase the action up through the field. Keeker getting a great jump and hanging on the early challenge from Hamilton.
Boy, these guys are, you know, they're going for it right away. You know, a lot of times you'll see these guys kind of ride around for the first 15 or 20 laps, just kind of taking it easy, making sure that fuel load gets burned off because they don't want to burn the right rear up right off the bat. But it looks like these first 7 or 8 guys aren't taking it very easy. They're really running hard right now.
Yeah, Hamilton indeed goes to the bottom on Keeker, says, I think I want to lead this thing as they get to turn 3. Keeker will be a difficult guy to pass. He knows his way around this racetrack. That's Gerster on the bottom from 4th, trying to make a move on Abold, and that didn't connect.
He's moved to the bottom at least one other time, trying to make that pass. So far, not been able to do it. Again, you know, you want to make that pass if it's easy, but you don't want to get down there, hang that back end out, spin that right rear tire, and wear it out right off the bat. So you take a look. If it's not easy, you just pull back up in line. This time, Abold goes to the bottom. Oh, there's where Gerster got a real sideways. He knew if he could get up there far enough, Abold would have to get him the racetrack. He just got after the throttle a little too hard, got the back end loose.
He does that very many times, and he will find himself going backward. So up front, there's been no change in that top 4, although we have seen moves from Gerster. We've seen Hamilton take a look, and we're just getting started here. 5 of 100 laps in the book with Keeker, the 2-time winner of the race, showing the way.
Well, the first 10 or 12, 14 cars really just right. Bang, bang, bang in a row. Gurney is running. He's really the first gap, and he's running back in about 12th position, and it doesn't look like he's able to keep up with that front group.
Chuck Gurney, of course, who had the great battle with Kite in the opener at Phoenix. Chuck Leary was somewhat surprised when I introduced the starting lineup to find out that he was the guy who got second there. Actually, of course, it was Gurney in this yellow car. A little fuel hiccup at the end of the race, and Kite was able to get by him. It was spectacular. Here is Kite, the man who beat him and won that race by about 6 inches. You'll ride with him through the course of the night, and he's back there just at the tail end of the top 10. Actually slipped out of the top 10. He's back in 14th position now.
Yeah, he's back there. He's hanging on pretty good, though. I mean, I think he's actually in 9th position. He's right behind Kevin Thomas. He's right on his tail end and running very good, running very smooth. He's just taking his time, not pushing it too much. I think he's running a very smart race right now.
21 years old out of Stockbridge, Georgia. Up front, Keeker continues to show the way. Abold now threatening Hamilton a little bit.
And these cars the handling characteristics will change a little bit as the race goes on. Look at Kenny Irwin in that black car. He's down on the inside. He's now moved up to 5th position as he went around the car in front of him. I think maybe that was Jack Hewitt.
Yeah, he got around Hewitt and picked up a spot. So that was a black car lap. You saw Hamilton come down out of 2nd spot and actually get alongside Keeker for a moment. Didn't get the nose out far enough to complete the pass. Irwin in the 2 is the man on the move.
He is the man on the move, and he's doing it down in turns 1 and 2, where I think it's a little harder place to pass. He just ran right around the inside, as we saw George Snyder do here about 3 years ago. Just goes to the bottom of the racetrack, and he's blown by about 3 guys here in the last lap.
Kenny Irwin Jr. Keeker passing the good guys here as he's gone from 6th to the lead in the course of about 3 laps. Kenny Irwin got a pretty good race car.
Man, oh man, he really does have a good race car, because he ran down out in no man's land, really clear down on the inside of the racetrack. Never did any kind of a slide job, just went right around the bottom of the racetrack and blew everybody away, and now that he's 4 or 5 car lengths ahead.
Abold now moving up into the 3rd spot. Let's take another look at the pass for the lead on Keeker. I mean, this is just textbook. Drive underneath him and see you later. Yeah,
he just turned that thing left, went down to the bottom of the racetrack, and gained 3 or 4 car lengths on him right there through the middle of the corner.
He did, in other words, exactly what you're not supposed to be able to do here at Indianapolis Raceway Park. Back on board with Kite. What is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. He's moved up a spot or 2 as that name of the game has changed a little with Kenny Irwin going to the front.
Yeah, that's, of course, right in front of him is Jimmy Sills. He's moving on him. He's tried on the outside of him. He's tried on the inside of him. But look at the lead that Irwin has moved up. Man, oh man.
The guy that's missing from that bunch up front, look for the black car to come through. Well, you won't see him that time. Back to 6th spot is Davey Hamilton. His car is misbehaving. Gerster is working on 2nd spot. He's after Keeker in turn 3.
Well, Gerster's having a great season. He's won a couple of midget races already. He led the last sprint car race out here at Raceway Park till the very end when he ran out of fuel. And now that he's moved into 2nd place, this kid, after being labeled a midget-only driver for so long, is all of a sudden showing that he can drive just about anything with wheels on.
Driving for Gary Howard in the midgets, and won a couple of races in the midget division this year. A couple of features over at 16th Street Speedway, the new racetrack at the old ballpark. He's a good race car driver. Well, Kenny Irwin doesn't have much out front, so let's get a look at the steering wheel and see how that car's behaving.
Well, looks like it's behaving very, very well. Look at his hands. You can tell how the race car's going. Through the corner, very little movement. He uses that thing about 1/8 of a turn, and he's back straight again. That's tremendous. When you only have to move that steering wheel that little amount, that means the race car really working well.
I'm dazzled. I mean, he has driven away from this bunch by the length of the straightaway, and he's done it in, what, has it been 6 or 7 laps, I guess, since he took the lead. This is just amazing.
Yeah, he has, you know, he's won here before. He's been tremendous at setting the race car up and running here before, but I think he has really pulled away from everybody much quicker than anybody ever thought he could.
I like the look in his eyes. He led all 100 laps the last time these cars raced on this racetrack. In this race a year ago, he lost it by inches to his rival, Mike Bliss. We're going to take a commercial break. We're underway with the Coca-Cola 100, and this guy's blowing them off.
Unleash the black. Unleash the beast. Yeah! Unleash the beast. Milwaukee's best.
In yet another torture test, we drained the oil from this car and added just this much Castrol Syntec. We then ran it over 100 miles per hour and waited and waited. You see, Syntec has a unique molecular structure that bonds to engine parts. And if a little Syntec can protect under these conditions, imagine what a full oil change can do. Castrol Syntec protects in ways other oils can't. And for your toughest cleaning tasks, try any Castrol Super Clean product.
A daughter.
Breathe.
A daughter. She's going to need all my love. She's going to need lots of hugs and hours of stories and dolls, braces, designer jeans, summer camp, a second phone, third bathroom, computer, college car, and a huge black tie wedding.
With ice sculptures.
Honey?
Why does Visa Gold give you so much purchase power? Because believe us, you're going to need it.
Congratulations, Mr. Miller.
Visa Gold, it's everywhere you want to be.
Since its introduction, the John Deere STX-38 has undergone a few improvements, like a tighter turning radius, increased horsepower, larger tires, and much, much more. Maybe that's why it has the highest trade-in value in its class. And yet, even after all this, one thing is still the same, the price. But there's always room for improvement. Introducing the lowest price ever, just $1,899. It was, after all, the only thing left to improve.
You know, we're having a heck of a big car race in Indianapolis Raceway Park tonight, or we would be, if if it were not for the fact that that number 2 is kind of stinking up the show. Kenny Irwin Jr. drove from 6th to 1st in the matter of 2 laps and has now put a straightaway on the field. From 2nd back, they'll be around here in a minute. No, not these guys. These are lappers. Nah, not these guys. These are lappers. Here they come. Now look at this. 2nd to 17.
2nd through 17th, nose to tail, and they've been battling each other all the way back through that whole group of people. Gerster's running in 2nd. Pat Abold in that 69 car down on the inside of Keeker. He's been doing that for the last 2 or 3 laps. Finally looks like he might be able to pull it off, but Keeker's not giving up easy.
The point of this is these are not exactly slouches that Irwin is running away from.
That's exactly right. Now then, these guys are running into lap traffic. As you look farther back, Sills is back in there, Leary's back in there, Ryan Newman. Tons and tons of guys all battle. Oh, that's lap traffic there. Look at Gerster. He gets tangled up with them. Keeker tries to go down the inside. Man, oh man.
Keep that all straight, will you, Larry? Because it's just about too much for me to handle. David Steele has dropped out. We're going to stay with this until the leaders get clear of this traffic, and then we'll find out what's happened to David because he is teammate to the race leader. Here they come. Now, the 111 car is Davey Hamilton, who seems to have kind of regrouped here. He fell back to 6th. I wonder if he's saving that car.
Well, you know, very well could be. Pat Abold is now bolted into 2nd place. He's pulled out into 4 or 5 car length lead over the 20 car Jim Keeper, the yellow car right there. Keeper's now running in 3rd, and then Hewitt is in 4th right behind him. So those guys are really battling back in through there, and Abold now has kind of bolted away into that 2nd position, leaving everybody else to battle for 3rd.
The white car with a little blue trim, the 61 is Gerster. He sits in the 5th spot, and behind him is Davey Hamilton. It looks like they pretty well cleared the lap traffic. Let's go down to Stephen Cox and find out what happened to the leader's teammate.
It's a tough night for Dave Steele. I'll tell you, not only do we have the problems in qualifying, but now, Dave, you can hardly make 25 laps with the car. What's the problem?
We just been fighting an uphill battle all night. First clutch problems, and now we have overheating problems. So there's no sense in ruining the motor. We were struggling anyhow.
Well, your mechanics obviously have the right setup because your teammate is way up front. Talk about that. How did the car feel before you went out of the race?
Actually, our car was pretty tight. Irwin's car looks to be going pretty good, so we'll just root for him, I guess.
Short night for Dave Steele, guys.
Well, indeed, a bad night for both guys who won the last chance races. Jay Drake has pulled to the pit area and has dropped out. As you go for a ride through the lappers with the leader, Kenny Irwin Jr.
Boy, he is in some real heavy traffic. These guys running 3 abreast. He's behind all of them, and you know, you got to keep your mind. You got to really be concentrating when you're running with guys and trying to pass guys that are racing with each other, especially when they're running 2 and 3 abreast.
Jason McCord has dropped out. The mechanical toll becoming rather dramatic here in the last couple of laps. There's Kenny fighting the wheel just a little bit as he cooks it down into the corner. The light hits just right. You can see the eyes, and I'll tell you what, they are focused. This guy is making a blitz out of this race.
Countless of Jay Drake lost a clutch. We've had a couple of cars that have lost clutches in here. Now he's catching up with Ralph Potter's car. Down here, we're going to try spinning.
Gerster, Brian Gerster down, gets stopped out of harm's way. Everybody goes up high to clear him. He's been running in the top 5 throughout, as Gerster was in 5th at the time of the incident. It's the first yellow of the night.
Boy, that's a tough break.
Obviously,
he's made contact. The right front on that thing really torn up. There's another car coming down into the pit area throwing sparks down here. It's a red car. He obviously got involved in that somehow when Gerster crashed up there in turn number 2.
Whether Gerster hit concrete or hit the second car remains to be determined, but that second car definitely has damage to the right rear. That is the 27 of Kevin Thomas.
Yeah, he's got a flat right rear tire. Let's see if we can see what happened. Gerster's now running in, that's I think in 4th position. He goes way to the bottom of the racetrack, tries to get one of those little slide jobs, slides up a little bit too far. Didn't work quite so well.
Wow.
Slid down. Thomas just clipped him as he went by. That's what broke the right front on his car and flattened the right rear on Kevin Thomas's car. That slide job didn't work. He didn't get it woed in time. And when all that fuel got to swinging around up there, just swung him going around sideways.
That amounts to a nick. Had that been a real hit, either one of those cars could have gone for a wild ride. Gerster's okay. Thomas, they are going to attempt to effect repairs and get him back out there. We're going to take a commercial break and come back and I'm sure hear from Gerster and see if Thomas is going to be able to get back in the show. So we have the first yellow of the Coca-Cola 100 at Indianapolis Raceway Park. We're live on Thunder, and there's your top 5. A lot of talent, all chasing Kenny Irwin Jr.
Out camping. There's so many things you can do. You can take a long hike. You can forge a stream, climb a mountain, canoe. Heck, you might even get chased by a wild buffalo.
Which one were you doing?
Oh, I haven't gotten started yet. I'm still blowing up the airbed.
Why wear yourself out pumping up an ordinary airbed? With the unique battery-operated Quick Pump, the new Quick Bed from Coleman inflates with a simple twist of the wrist. Coleman, we outfit your outdoors.
Choose one. Powerade. Power to working muscles when you need it. I am not done.
Performance. It's my job. You need the right technology. You need the right skills. You need the right equipment. You need the right gasoline. And you need the right motor oil.
You need to use your 9-iron. Good thing he can drive.
Cinco says go.
Silver Crown cars from Indianapolis Raceway Park are fun, and the fun is brought to you this evening by Federated Auto Parts Stores. Professional advice, brand name parts. Let's find out what happened to the leader over there as we go to Stephen Cox.
Dave, a very disappointed young man here. Brian, you were really running very well out there. What happened?
I just made a mistake. You know, we got boxed in some lap traffic, and about 3 guys got around me, and you know, where I was racing with Keeker and Hewitt, I felt like we were quite a bit faster than they were, and I got back by Hewitt and got a pretty good run on Keeker, and you know, we still had a lot of fuel in the back of the car, and when I got down there, it got away from me, and I just messed up.
I'll tell you, Brian's a fine driver, and it takes a lot of guts to admit it when you make a mistake.
Well, he made the mistake, and he owned up to it. The issue here is that the leader's huge advantage has been evaporated by the yellow flag, but I got a feeling it's not going to take Kenny Irwin long to recreate it at this point. The blue car is a lapper, so he's pulling away again real quick.
Right. Dave Darwin, that blue car, is keeping up with him, though. He got a lap down there during all that traffic early, and it seems like he's keeping up pretty well. Abel, meanwhile, is back in third spot. We're taking a look back in the field a little further, and these guys, that's Keeker in that yellow car down on the bottom. He's your third place car right now, trying to get around some of that lap traffic.
Meanwhile, Tyler was able to get back out there. Is that car 100%, you think? The 27 got involved in the incident with Gerster?
Well, I don't know. It looked to me like the right rear was bent still. It looked like there was a lot of wobbling going on the right rear when he went back out there. But it remains to be seen, I guess. Right now, Keeker is getting a lot of heat from Jack Hewitt, the guy that everybody always said was a just a dirt guy, but he's won some pavement races before, and it looks like he's again. Jimmy Kite right behind him. Kite looks like he's kind of been biding his time now that he's making his move, too.
Boy, Hewitt drove right by Keeker there, and now Kite is in position to perhaps try and do the same thing. He's been patient. He's worked his way forward, although Keeker at the moment is working his way backward. You see a few sparks coming off Keeker's car. He's still got that heavy fuel load working there, and Kite couldn't get by him.
Now, he tried, he slid right back up behind him now. He's going to have to get a little bit better run, get a little bit of better shot going into the corner. So far, hasn't been able to do it.
He's looking back there at the 111 of Hamilton. Again, Hamilton had been on the outside of the front row, slipped back to 6th spot, and now seems content to just sit there and bide his time. He's following that Keeker-Kite battle in front of them, which is 4th and 5th.
Well, I think some of these guys are biding their time, but about this time, we're nearing the halfway point already, about 44 laps into this race. So they're going to have to stop biding their time and start going a little harder because they don't want Kenny Kenny Irwin to get way, way out in front of him, which he seems to be doing right now.
I'm not sure there's a whole lot that anybody can do about that tonight. Kenny Irwin has an amazing race car. Everybody knows his talent and his ability after leading 100 laps here in August, the last time the Silver Crown cars ran at Indianapolis Raceway Park. He has taken up just where he left off and is absolutely blitzing the field.
Jimmy Kite seems to be getting into the corner better than Keeker. Keeker seems to be getting off the corner a little better. Right here, though, he doesn't. Boy, he got a good shot on him coming off there, and he's going to drive right on by.
See you later. Is Keeker going to get back underneath him? Yes, he does. Kite ran her in hard. Now this is going to be wheel-to-wheel off the corner. Kite completes the pass.
That outside groove is the best place coming off the corner. If you can pinch them down coming off, you're usually going to get a better shot down the straightaway and more RPMs, get faster straightaway speed, and that's what Kite accomplished right there. He did a nice job. He almost overdid it. Almost did what Brian Gersher did.
Now Keeker will have to deal with Hamilton as Jimmy falls to fifth. The Kite moves inside the top four. He's got a pretty fast race car there, but the difficulty for him is the fact that the front runners are gone.
Boy, there are. Ryan Newman got together back there. Couldn't tell who that black car was. I think it was Chuck Leary he bumped into, who's just a little bit in the back there.
Black car going through was your leader. Where's second place?
He's already gone. That was Abold in the white car. There's third right there. So these Abold is only about a half straightaway behind, but he cannot get around Dave Darling, who is a lap car. So he's really having problems back here and getting around him.
We'll pick that up the next time by. That will be the blue car being pursued by the white car. Hewitt is alone in third, and then here comes your battle short on back. Hamilton trying to put some pressure on Keeker. Right. That's the black 111 working on the yellow 20.
Right. Hamilton trying to get around him now to move into fifth spot. So Keeker's in fifth, Hamilton's in sixth, and I think that's Ryan Newman in the white car now giving Hamilton a little problem, and he drives around him on the inside.
Ryan Newman from South Bend, Indiana. Another youngster, freshman at Purdue University, and he's on the move here. Let's find out what happened to Jay Drake as we go back to the trackside and Stephen Cox.
Thanks, Dave. The attrition continues. This time, Jay Drake goes out early and got caught in a lot of traffic. Was that a cooling problem?
No, the car was working real good, and the traffic is just in the semi there. I think we broke a clutch spring, and so the car was popping out of gear, and we had to try to force it back in, and it just wasn't working for us. So we're gonna have to wait out this week, and we'll come back next week and hit it hard then.
Good luck then, Jay. A lot of problems and heavy traffic toward the back of the pack.
Three-time champion of the division, easy for me to say, Jimmy Sills, just came slowly down the front straightaway and made the turn behind the wall. The Placerville, California star is done for the night. The car's never really gotten into the hunt this season.
Now, you know, that race car is usually so good and so fast. He's been in the hunt almost every race that we've run, but tonight, that Chrysler Power product, one of the first we've ever had, that it's just not happening for him here tonight, and obviously he had a problem. He's pulled out.
8 wins, makes him 4th on the all-time list. Number 9 will not come tonight. He's a 3-time champion. Here's your race leader as Kenny Irwin Jr. puts number 55 in the book. He has passed the halfway point, and this has been a flawless performance this evening. The Aristocrat Products wins Chevy.
Yeah, it certainly has. But right now, Pat Abold, if we just take a look back behind him, the white car you see coming into your screen, if he's catching him, it's ever so slightly, but he's certainly not, Kenny Irwin's certainly not pulling away at this point. So that's good news for the fans that want to see a good finish here, because Abold is really running quite well.
A lot of super modified guys here. Abold, a 2-time champion of the super modified division out of Syracuse, New York. And he's having a pretty good run here this evening. They're riding with Kite now.
Yeah, and you know, that's Ryan Newman, who just went around him, another one of the young guys, and he is moving up quite well. He's gained 3 or 4 spots here in the last couple of laps, and he's really gaining on, well, he's got a lap car in front of him right now. That's Eric Gordon in that black 16 car. That's a lap car, but the white car right in front is Jack Hewitt, and he's gaining on him quite handsomely.
Ryan was your 95 midget rookie of the year. Nothing midget about these race cars. These are the big guys, the big cars, and Ryan is swinging his around pretty effectively here as he tries to reel in Hewitt, who was better than this just a few laps ago.
Well, I'm not
sure. I think Ryan caught Jack as opposed to Jack backing up here.
Well, I think so. And, you know, again, the weight management, how you set the race cars up makes such a big difference. Some guys have a terrible push at the beginning of the race because of the fuel load. They won't fill them up. They'll only put about 50 or 60 gallons of them. These cars will hold 75 gallons. But still, 50 or 60 gallons, 7 pounds per gallon is a lot of weight. When that goes away, it changes the handling drastically. And look at this. Abold definitely is gaining ground on Kenny Irwin.
Yeah, boy, he reeled him in a bunch in 2 laps right there. So Kenny was very, very good the first half of the race. But now, as we reach the 60-lap mark, 60 of 100, Pat Abold has run the leader down from a long way back, and the difference is a car length.
And see, that's what happens when that weight goes away. The back end's real loose. Real early, the race car was perfect. Now that the weight's gone away, the back end's much lighter. It's getting a lot looser on him, and he's having a terrible time. He's making that race car plenty wide, though. He's not going to give Abold that lead very easily.
You got to believe, though, with the way Abold reeled it in, that there's a pass in the making here. Kenny Irwin is going to be a tough cat to get around, but Abold, for the moment, appears to have a better race car. Well, 4 96 Silver Crown starts. That was 4th at Richmond, 10th at IRP in August. He wants to be first tonight.
Well, Kenny Irwin, he sees him back there now. He's going to suck it up a little bit. He's going to try to drive it down in there just a little bit deeper so he can't get it. That's exactly what he does right there. They both kind of try to out-brave each other. A little game of chicken there. See who can go in the hardest, get on the brakes the hardest, and maintain that spot. That time, Kenny Irwin won.
Kenny Irwin Jr. is a heck of a race car and race truck driver. He won his first NASCAR Craftsman race here last month down in Florida. He executes the pick on the lap car there and manages to build the lead by perhaps a car length or 2.
Well, you can see right there, though, how loose that race car is. The back end got way out on him right there. I think Abold sees that. I don't think Abold's going to do anything real drastic, real funny. He knows that the longer the race goes, the likelihood is that race car is going to get looser and looser.
Abold is alongside.
Right,
this is 3 and 4. You ever see it crank the wheel?
And that's a game of chicken. Those guys just drive it down in there until they can't hold their breath anymore. Then they jam on the brakes. That time, Abold wins.
That's why they call it racing right there. Pat Abold has taken the lead with lap traffic in front of him. That's Bill Bowie, who will separate the leaders for the moment. With 35 to go, Abold comes to life, out-braves Kenny Irwin Jr., and opens up about a 20-yard advantage. We're going to take a commercial break and come back with more live from Indianapolis Raceway Park.
My father, both my brothers, my kids will probably have thinning hair. Losing my hair was probably one of the most traumatic experiences in my life. But the great thing about Rogaine is you can interrupt nature. You can stop it. And Rogaine is proven to work. It goes right to the root to grow hair. About 4 months later, my wife walked by and she just was, hey, wait a second, you're growing hair. And since then, I've stayed with Rogaine, and my hair's really filled in. Check this out. It's great. I'm a user for life.
Recently, an independent group of brewmasters and beer experts conducted a tasting of just about every major beer in the country. For 4 months, they sampled regular and ice beers for character, flavor, and overall quality. And in the end, the judges named one beer the best tasting beer in America, Old Milwaukee. So when you want the best tasting beer, now you know where to turn. Old Milwaukee.
My biggest asset's my people. They're experts in solving your problem.
This is Ron Camerata, Federated Store Manager. He's been in the parts business 31 years.
Federated has quality products, quality people, and we're very competitive. Customers call, they ask your advice, they ask your help for things. That's part of being a store manager. And that's rewarding because they know that you've gone out of your way to give them what they need.
When you want the best parts and expert advice, go to your Federated Auto Parts store.
Ryan Newman is an unhappy young man. In the last 2 laps, or the previous 2 laps before the yellow, he had gone from 5th to 4th, then from 4th to 3rd, and now his car is stopped on pit road, and we are actually stopped on the racetrack, and we are under yellow flag condition.
Yeah, he hit the wall up there. As we take a look at the top 5, Pat Abold and Kenny Irwin still leading. Jack Hewitt in 3rd. Jimmy Kite now in 4th, and Jim Keeker still running in the top 5, but has moved back a couple positions.
By the way, Robbie Flock has dropped out of the race, and we documented before the commercial that Jimmy Sills, the 3-time champ, is out. Stephen Cox has caught up with him.
Jimmy Sills had a very good handling race car. What happened to the handling? What did you feel in the cockpit?
Well, after that restart, the last restart, we picked up a little vibration in the back, and the car would pick up a push here and there. And I thought I was having a tire problem, and then going into turn 3, the motor just free wound. Something broke loose in the drive line, but the Mopar was running good, and we had no motor problems. It was right there, and just a little bit of driveline problems. Too much horsepower.
And I understand you have a lot of drag racing fans. You're still the only Mopar in the field, aren't you?
Yeah, everywhere we race, we got all the drag racers rooting for us, so the Mopar's hanging in there and running strong.
Still a ways to go, guys. Jimmy Sills, night's over.
Too much horsepower. That's cute. Well, this is a sad situation for Newman, and here's the pass for the lead. This is Abold and Irwin in a game of guts.
And you can see right there, Irwin just gets a little bit loose, tries to get on the throttle, chases it, and that lets Abold pull right in front of him. Abold had him on the outside. He had a good position on him, and Irwin just chased the throttle a little bit too hard. That race car is just a little bit too loose. Abold was going to get him. It was just a matter of time.
Well, in a 100-lap race, you'll see the cream rise to the top sometimes 2 or 3 different times, depending on how the yellow falls. At the moment, Pat Abold is the man to beat with fewer than 30 to go. We'll take a break and be back.
You're watching footage that's never been seen before. Actual nuclear bomb tests, air bursts, underwater explosions, even the bomb itself. In accordance with the Secretary of Energy's openness policy, these scenes and many more have just been declassified and are now available on home video.
We deal with classified footage all of the time, and I can tell you we've never seen anything like this.
Owns this historic collection of video, detonations, troop tests, accidents, scientists caught unprepared, the shock waves, the tidal surges, all of it fully narrated. Order America's Atomic Bomb Test. If you enjoy history, weapons, or military aviation, we urge you to order now. There has been nothing like this before.
Call now 1-800-494-1881 to order this exciting, recently declassified footage of America's atomic bomb testing for only $19.95 plus $3.75 shipping and handling. Call now. That's 1-800-494-1881.
The whole jock stereotype thing, it's true. I've seen it. But from time to time, there will be exceptions, and we're starting to see that as well.
Gary, absolutely dismal in this office. Nobody smiles. You got the fluorescent lights that just suck. They suck everything out of you. So you're not listening to me.
I wish you had time to relax.
You're not feeling the vibe that I'm trying to give to you.
Producer.
I'm trying to give you a piece of myself. I'm trying to give you a little peace, a little love, be within you. Is it so bad, this world we live in?
Hey, we're back. You might think, what the heck? I must have missed 3 or 4 laps. Look at the lead Abold has. This is the completion of the first lap since the restart. He got a great jump on the black car, currently running in the 2nd spot. Kenny Irwin Jr. comes the lap. Darla, the 3rd place car, is the white machine of Jack Hewitt.
Hewitt's back there. He's not really gaining on some of the lap cars, though. It seems like Darlin is really running a hair faster than Kenny Irwin Jr. who's now in 2nd, but of course being a lap down is a long way to go.
I'm not sure how Darlin got that lap down because he's been able to run at the pace of the leaders for the last 40 or 50 laps, but he got lapped early when the fuel loads were heavy, and now he has no opportunity to make it up.
Well, unlike NASCAR racing where you start side by side, you don't get that side-by-side restart in this type of racing. You don't get a chance to get that lap back as easy as you would in NASCAR type racing.
On board with Kenny Irwin, looking back at the right rear tire. Looks round and black from here.
Yeah.
Whether or not it might be suffering some wear, I don't know.
Well, there's no blisters on it, you know. It just looks like the race car is loosened up. The tire doesn't appear that it's, gone away as far as blistering or any stripes. Oh, we got somebody in the wall.
3 and 4.
37 car.
That would be Tracy Hines in trouble, and it looks like he kind of backed her in here, the Newcastle, Indiana driver who was running in 6th spot with all of the shuffling and the attrition there. He moved inside the top 6. Last year's 2nd-ranked midget driver, USAC competition.
He's looking around to see if all the four wheels are still on it, but they're still on it, but they're not going to roll around very good because he hit that wall pretty good lick up there. So he's going to have to be towed off of the racetrack. You could tell he was not a happy man when he got out of that thing.
You mentioned that Gerster's having a good 1997. This guy won back-to-back midget races at two of the toughest racetracks anywhere, Winchester and Salem. Boy can drive a race car.
Yeah, he certainly can. Of course, he's got a great midget ride with the Lewis. And this is a good car here. This is a brand new car. These guys went out and bought a new race car this year, trying to get upgrade their program a little bit. And he was running really well. Top 6 is no slouch.
Got the tail end of what happened here, and he's already long gone by that point.
Yeah, he'd already got her sideways and into the fence at that point. This looked like he might have got in just a hair bit low, trying to pinch under somebody. And it looks like he might feel that somebody didn't do him quite right. No, he's not. Yeah, he is.
Yeah,
he is.
you did it.
Yeah.
You did it. Keeker, wasn't it?
And that's the guy that's running in 5th, so he must have been trying to make the pass when that happened.
Let me see. How might that have happened?
Yeah, that's right. He was not happy with the way it came down.
Let's see if we can get the bottom line on Ryan Newman's situation as we go to Stephen.
Ryan found the wall going into turn 3. Now, Ryan, you're obviously okay. What happened to the car?
I got a little overexcited, I guess. I got high coming off the second turn after I passed Hewitt there. I know I got in the wall there, and we've had a little problem with the throttle actually sticking, and I was having to lift up on it, and that's why I really got out of shape going into 3 there. After that, I just found a kill switch and shut the thing off and coasted around because I didn't have much brakes after I hit the wall. First of all, I want to thank LCI. They've been a tremendous help with me. Ben Dillon, my family, of course, the most. Everybody here has been great help, and I want to really thank them.
Now, the guys in the booth were speculating that perhaps you lost a tire or had a tire going down. Any truth to that?
No, the right side tires are blistered. I looked at them after I wrecked, but they were really in good shape. That they weren't actually wearing away traumatically, but they were just blistered. And I think that was just because I was hustling the car to the front. Like I said, I kind of over-hustled it there.
You throw these cars into a corner at IRP, and the tires go away pretty quickly.
That must have been you that was speculating.
That must have been you. I think he's listening to somebody else.
I knew he just ran her down there and stuck in the fence. I'll tell you what, the kid was having a heck of a run, and it's a shame to see it end that way, but...
you know what, Joe Ruttman, I'll listen to him, too. He said LCI instead of MCI.
Now, don't you start picking on my buddy Joe. Abold is the leader. I'm not sure Irwin's got anything for him. Hewitt's just kind of been sitting there, taking care of business. Kite, Keeker, I don't know if anybody's got anything for Pat here. We're getting short on laps. We'll take a commercial break and come back to wrap this baby up. It's the Coca-Cola 100. Stay with us.
At Pennzoil, we know brutal driving doesn't just take place on a racetrack. It begins at the end of your driveway. You stop, you go. You stop, you go. If this reminds you of your commute, we recommend you use Pennzoil motor oil. Pennzoil, formulated for today's stop-and-go driving.
Morning, Bob. Morning, Henry.
Stop, go, Pennzoil.
If you have a money-back guarantee, that means you're showing 100% confidence in your product. To me, that's awesome.
During our 40 million split fires celebration, you'll get the lowest split fire prices in history.
Big deal to me.
And that's guaranteed, too.
That's awesome.
Just what does it take to get in shape and stay that way? If you think you need to go to a gym to lose weight, get in shape, and have a body like this, think again. This is Bowflex, a real workout at home that's so good, we guarantee results in 6 weeks or your money back. Think about it. You could get results like tighter abs, finer lines, a stronger chest, and more defined legs in only 6 weeks. It's not magic, it's Bowflex. All of the most effective exercises, plus a great aerobic rowing feature, ready for a quick workout whenever you are. Nothing could be easier. The results you want are only 6 weeks away. Don't think about it anymore. Take action. Call us and ask for a free video and brochure on the machine that works like an entire gym, but fits anywhere in your home.
Welcome to the second of our two big races here tonight. Kenny Irwin killed him in the first race. Then about halfway, Pat Abold came alive and is now running away with the second half. There is Irwin in front of Darland and
Ryan Tyler in the yellow car.
Sprint car champion. They're both lapped.
Both lap cars. And so, you know, right behind them, though, if we take a look, Irwin's in-car camera is Hewitt. And he and Jimmy Kite are having a heck of a battle back there. There's Kite sideways coming off the corner. And now that everybody's caught up, the lap traffic really playing a big, big part in this part of the race.
The two white cars, the third and fifth cars in your frame are the two at issue. And now somebody got around Kite there, and I think that must be Hamilton, isn't it?
No, I think that's Eric Gordon.
Oh, that's
and he is also another lap car. But Kite, see, Kite has he's ruined his right rear tire. He's run sideways now for 2 or 3 laps. Oh, look at Darlin smoking that thing as he jumped on the brakes down there. He's trying to get back around Irwin, trying to get that lap back.
Hewitt working on the black number 2 of Kenny Irwin Jr. now as he finally gets free, but Hewitt may be quicker than Irwin. He looks to the bottom, and our onboard camera looks at Kenny as he says, I got company again.
Yeah, Irwin's just hanging on for dear life, running that thing as straight as he can run it, trying to keep everybody behind him. Hewitt, again, got up there wisely, didn't get up there and give him a little tap on the left rear. Oh, right there, it looked like he wanted to do though.
Cool shot. I like that. Irwin is second, Hewitt is third, then come the lappers. The next guy in order of position is fourth place Kite, who's been lighting up the right rear. He's identifiable by the little camera antenna moving down to the bottom of the 92.
But look at Beechler in that red and blue car back there. He came from clear in the back of the pack. He had to start dead last in this race because he had to be pushed. He's now up in about 5th position.
Kenny Irwin was just passed by Jack Hewitt. You saw the tail tank go by, and that was it. Hewitt has moved into second spot. Irwin, totally dominant early, is now third. Here comes Kite on the bottom trying to make something happen. He'll make something happen, all right.
Yeah.
Ouch. Boy, that car jammed.
Yeah, Beechler right now is in 5th position. He's come all the way from the back of the field. He's in 5th right behind Kite. So he has definitely passed more race cars than anybody else out there so far tonight.
It's the blue and red number 67 right there. 5th place driver out of Springfield, Illinois in the Zerunian machine. He's won 3 Silver Crown races in his career. 2 of them were at Sacramento, California, a mild dirt track, about as different a racetrack from this one as you can find. But I'll tell you what, Donnie Beechler, who's had to start dead last in both his races here this evening, is on the move.
You have to be push start. When your starter does not work, you have to go to the rear of the field. And that was the ruling on both the races that he ran. Their starter broke early in the night, and so he had to go to the back. And now then, he's chasing Kenny Irwin, who's pulling back, and Jimmy Kite has gotten around.
You're liable to see that blue nose come sneaking up alongside Irwin in that onboard shot here any moment. That's a lap car going by there. There's Darlin coming alongside. And I would think Irwin's probably tired of seeing Darlin up there, but Dave, again, has been able to run the speed of the leader or the speed of the second place car for most of the second half of this race, and will try to get around Irwin as they go to 3.
Yeah, he's had everybody knocking on his door down there on the bottom side. Darlin just hasn't quite had enough. And Darlin's really messing Beechler up right now as he's right smack in the way. And Beechler's having a heck of a time getting around Darlin. And, you know, if he can get around Darlin get out of the way, might have a better chance. Of course, you can't blame him. He's out there racing, too.
Beechler will try the outside and gets around Darlin. And now here comes the pole sitter moving with him. That is Jim Keeker trying to salvage something out of this as he sits back there in 6th spot.
And see, once he got clear, once he got around the lap traffic, Beechler made quick work. Irwin went right around him, one corner, zip, boom, bow, right by him going in, and he's gone.
Donnie Beechler's got himself a heck of a race car. He is into 4th. He's just done a spectacular job here this evening. 4th in the 95 Silver Crown points. 4th in the Copper Classic in February. And hustling here tonight.
Jimmy Kite just went into 2nd place. He just went around the 63 car of Jack Hewitt.
I want to know how Kite did that. That car looked like it was destined to go straight to the back.
There's first, there's second, third. That's what I said. I said that race car, he's ruined the right rear tire. It still looks like he's ruined the right rear tire, and he's still going faster than almost anybody else. Although he's made Hewitt mad. Look out, that's a bad thing to do.
Well, maybe it's just not as ruined as Jack's tire. They are having a heck of a battle for 2nd and 3rd. Jack Hewitt, who spent most of the month of May over at Indianapolis Motor Speedway trying to rustle up an IRL ride, the Troy, Ohio native, and one of my favorite people in the world of motorsports, is a little unhappy right now at having given up the runner-up spot to the kid. Remember Pat Abold? Remember Pat Abold? This is Pat Abold. This This is the super modified star who has blitzed away from this field. And ladies and gentlemen, is taking the white flag, indicating 1 lap to go. Here's Kite, the kid, then Hewitt, the veteran. Then the lappers begin to come through. Your 4th place car out there is Donnie Beechler, who's had a magnificent run from deep in the field. Pat Abold is headed for home. Pretty impressive performance.
Well, he's done a terrific job. He bided his time the first half of the race, and he led the half that counted, including this one, because this is the one who pays all the money.
Pat Abold wins it by a significant margin over Kite, who is now 1-2 in 2 Silver Crown races this year. Jimmy the Kid Kite is a young man with a very, very bright future. But for tonight, the celebration will star Pat Abold. It's just a matter of having the car right when you need it. Kenny Irwin Jr. looked so good. And I don't want to second guess the guy, but I wonder if he used too much of the car early.
Well, I don't think so. I think it's just a matter that he had the race car set up, and that happens so many times in this long a race. And we talked about it before, the strategy. You have to set the race car up to be fast at first, but it really needs to be fastest at the end of the race when the fuel goes away. And you need to start the race out with some push in the race car, because if you don't, if you start it out neutral and it's really, really fast, what happens is as it loosens up, as that weight goes away, it gets looser and looser and looser. Obviously, Abold had a little bit more push, and a car balanced out better in those last 50 laps and not in the first 50.
Pat Abold and his guys understood everything that Larry Rice just said, and more importantly, they'd figured it out, like Larry, before the race began, and that's why they drive into victory lane here this evening. It's an interesting race car. It's kind of a bigger version of the famed Hoffman pavement sprinter that's been driven by the likes of Vogler and Butler and Stanley and Irwin and Michener, a lot of great drivers. And now Pat Abold in the Silver Crown version of that car has found his way to victory lane in Indianapolis Raceway Park. Show them the names of all those guys on the crew there. They are a heroic team.
That car is really a family effort. I mean, Papa Gus, he started this Hoffman family tradition a long, long time ago. The boys take it over. Now the grandson actually is the mechanic on it. So, you know, it's been a family tradition for a long, long time. Those guys have worked well, long and hard. They had speedway cars for a while. I mean, they've done everything in this business.
Pat, as you can tell, is a happy man, and rightly so. This thing paid $9 grand to win tonight, so he did good. We're going to take a commercial break and come back with more. Talk about how we got to where we are and what comes next. Stay with us.
Choose one. Powerade. Power to working muscles when you need it. I am not done.
Just what you need, a flat. Get new Prestone Tire Jack, the premium sealer and inflator that passes the Prestone 7 nail test. It's the only one with the AcroSeal system. New Prestone Tire Jack, protection that's tough as nails.
Well, I was in the neighborhood first. Dave came up to see how I did get such a good lawn. He was using turf builder. Dave's secret is to follow whatever I do. I have the best lawn in the neighborhood. Nice and green and thick. I think Brad has some nice spots on his lawn, but I think overall I have a better lawn.
Spin, your inside source for the fast-changing worlds of music, entertainment, fashion, and more. Pick up a copy at newsstands today or call 1-800-221-8700.
We're live at Indianapolis Raceway Park. The moon is high, and so are the spirits of Donnie Beechler and the entire Hoffman family gathered in... Who did I say?
You said...
I said Beechler. I was so impressed with Beechler's run here, I forgot who won the race. Pat Abold. We should go back and start this segment over. No, we can't do that. We're live. There's the number, and the winner is standing by in victory lane with Stephen Cox. Pat Abold is his name, by the way, Stephen.
Thank you very much. Well, congratulations, Pat. A great run out there. Talk about the middle part of the race when things are getting a little bit hairy and you're stacking up some traffic.
Well, you know, we were just trying to conserve the tires. This Hoffman race team, man, these guys are my second family already. I just love them to death. They give me a great race car every time. You know, we've had luck against us a little bit. Finally, it went our way. I was trying to be easy on the right rear tire. This car was perfect from the beginning of the race. It did everything Rob told me it was going to do. And he told me on the radio, you know, you got a full straightaway, take it easy. So I just backed it down a lot. I knew it was a lap car back there, but what a feeling. This is great.
And the money doesn't hurt either, does it?
No, you know, you don't come here and race for the money. If we did that, we'd all stay home. You know, it's an expensive sport, and you do win the races once in a while, but it doesn't pay all the bills. But, you know, this is just exciting. This is my first win on national TV, and it just really feels good.
Well, talk about your pass for the lead. Now, you can't see it here. Just think about it with me and talk your way through it while the people at home think and get to see this opportunity. Now, talk about the pass for the lead especially.
Well, you know, when Kenny went by me early in the race, I knew he was running awful hard, and it didn't bother me at that point in time. And then once I finally broke lap traffic, I was able to reel him in, just being really conservative, so I knew I was going to have something for him when I got up there. And then when I got up there, his crew must have called him, told him I was coming. He started running harder, and he got looser coming off. So we found the weakness and took advantage of it.
Did the race car change a lot toward the end when the fuel load lightened?
This car went from, I mean, it was pretty much neutral the whole race. It got a little bit tight at the end, but that was really good, and it really helped the rear tires. I'd like to take just a second to say hi to the rest of my team at home. You know, I know we missed a super modified race back at Oswego tonight, but this is really worthwhile. I'd like to say hi to my two kids, Amanda and Jeffrey. They're with me all the time, and they couldn't be here this weekend, and they're so special to me, and I just want to say hi to them.
Well, you did them proud, and I'll tell you, now, let's talk to the patriarch of the family here. This has got to just please you to no end. He says you gave him a great race car tonight.
Well, not me. I think it's my son, Chris, or my son, Dick, my grandson, Rob, Kurt Stammer, and this wonderful crew that we had, because we put this car together, finished it up this morning, believe it or not. We came here, and my grandson said, Dad, Grandpa, I think we got a chance. He said, the car's quick.
Well, compare this to the other wins and all the other years. How does this rate?
Oh, I think this is probably one of the number ones.
Well, I'll tell you what, if we can get the crew chief in here. Now, where's our crew chief at? We had him here just a second ago. I'll tell you, that was some kind of a ride, though. Come in and talk about it. He said this car didn't change one whit all the way through. Talk quickly about your setup tonight coming in. Did it work good off the trailer?
We didn't have a chance to change anything. We had a few mechanical problems in hot laps. He got all of 6 laps. It's a brand new chassis. We just finished it this morning, and I'm flabbergasted that it works so well.
You've had a lot of hot shoes drive your cars. How does Pat Abold fit into that mix?
I see a lot of both Robbie Stanley and Rich Vogler and Pat. He's a very aggressive driver. He'll run the car hard, but he knows how to take care of the tires. He's very intelligent in his driving style.
Well, Pat Abold has made a whole lot of happy people down here tonight, Dave.
Tell you what, that's a heart warmer. I mean, I got the winner's name wrong. Gus got half the family's name wrong, but he's got an excuse. This guy's 87 years old. He got all busted up in that car wreck a couple of years ago, but he's back, and man, is he happy down there tonight. That's a nice scene.
He's been a great guy. They've owned Indy cars, they've owned sprint cars, they've owned dirt cars, and you know, they've been a great family for racing, and it just, you know, that's one of the great things we always talk about, how families really do rule the sport.
I got the very real sense that they didn't expect to win this race tonight. They're happy to have this one in the bank. Pat Abold handled the wheel. The Hoffman family gave him a very good race car. They're going to take home $9 grand tonight for the victory. Those are the unofficial results. We're going to take a commercial break and come back with more of the post-race fun here from Indianapolis Raceway Park. Our first visit to IRP for the summer of '97.
Can I have your attention, please?
What's up? Hey, what's up?
I got a big announcement to make.
Are we getting new hats?
No, we're introducing fresh stuffed pitas at Wendy's.
Yeah?
Now, Wendy's has pitas in 4 delicious varieties, like Garden Ranch chicken, overflowing with crisp vegetables and big chunks of tender chicken.
Really fill them up.
Chicken Caesar with shredded Parmesan and 2 veggie pitas, classic Greek with feta cheese and garden veggie.
These are great.
Come in and try Wendy's new fresh stuffed pitas.
So that hat thing's not going to happen?
No.
All right.
In Greenville, North Carolina, Mike and Lawrence really had a blast with bicycle vert champ, Mr. Dave Mira. Say hi to the folks, Dave. That's right, Dave. You're number 1. When it comes to riding the vert ramp, Dave really wails. He gets so high, you get the feeling he could have a salami sandwich while he's up there. But wipe out here, and your insides come out looking like a Twist-O-Flex watch band. Look, Mom, no spleen.
The X Games, presented by 1-800-CALL-ATT.
We were on vacation.
Oh, your sunglasses.
When we realized we were sitting on a gold mine.
Rubber sunglasses.
Too bad none of the stores saw it that way.
So, any more bright ideas?
Actually, yes. Our own website. And before we knew it, we were selling shades to everyone under the sun.
Open a storefront on the internet with the most powerful network in the world.
Thunderhead Parade heading out of Indianapolis Raceway Park. The runner-up tonight and the Silver Crown Series point leader is Jimmy Kite. Let's go to victory lane.
Now, Dave, you were talking about this guy's right rear tire, weren't you? We've got some problems with the blisters and so forth on other cars. How did your right rear react to the wear and tear that you were putting on it?
Actually, as soon as we pulled into here on the front straightaway, it went flat on it. So it was done.
Well, congratulations on a great run tonight. I'll tell you, Pat Abold went off and left everybody, and that left you with a lot of traffic to deal with. Was it a real problem for you?
Yeah, it really was. Well, with us starting back 8th, they were able to go out front and kind of just run really smooth and just go through the cars. We were having to go through lap traffic and past the guys that were in front of positions with me. So yeah, it made it pretty difficult. I had to run a little bit harder, but the car was just, I mean, there towards the end it started getting really loose, but once I saw every time I saw a position closing in on us, I just ran a little bit harder. I probably shouldn't have, but we got second.
Well, between that right rear tire and the fuel load lightening and the car getting looser and looser throughout the race, talk about the change that the car made throughout especially toward the end of the race.
We started out with the race. When we first went out, it was actually almost a little on the tight side with the heavy fuel load. Actually, it was very tight. I was trying to get on the gas to break it loose, and it just wouldn't even hint of getting loose. And as the race went on, it just got looser and looser and looser, and especially there at the end of the race, it was just very, very loose. But we held on for second, so we were very happy.
Pat Abold was long gone by the time this young man got a chance at him, but a good run for Jimmy Kite.
There are some very good young race drivers coming up through the USAC ranks, and that boy is one of them. That is Jimmy Kite. Take a complete look at the rundown here. Abold wins it from Kite. The veteran Jack Hewitt had to settle for 3rd. Keeker, the pole sitter, winds up 4th. Hamilton 5th. Kenny Irwin Jr., who looked like he was going to clean all their clocks tonight, settled for 6th. We'll take a break and be right back.
Are you ready for more action, more danger, more impact? Well, your wait is over. The hottest, most intense, extreme Crash Impact ever. Crash Impact 2. 70 minutes of explosive, heart-stopping crash action. You have to see to believe. All new crashes from Superbikes, Harley Series, drag racing, stock cars, sprint cars, Supercross, Indy cars, flat track, and more. All jam-packed on 2 tapes for only $19.95. Order now and get absolutely free. The new Extreme Sports Virtual Reality, featuring insane extreme sports from around the world like you've never seen before. You'll get the all-new Crash Impact 2, plus the Extreme Sports Video free. 3 tapes that'll blow you away. Guaranteed or your money back.
To order, call 1-800-243-0770. That's 1-800-243-0770. Or send $19.95 plus $5.95 shipping and handling to the address on your screen.
A place where legends are made and records are broken.
Gentlemen, start your engine.
Watch the race for the pole at the Brickyard. The Indy 500 time trials live coverage continues tomorrow at 2 on ESPN2 and at 5 on ESPN.
Today's topic, shelter. First, we stretch the tent out onto the ground, securing the structure to the... I got it. Assemble the infrastructure thusly. Oh, wait, I got it. Ow, pain.
You know, this would be so much easier if you knew about the new Fast Track tent from Coleman.
Because of its unique frame design, the new Fast Track tent from Coleman sets up in seconds. Coleman, we outfit your outdoors.
At Indianapolis Raceway Park, the sound of thunder fading into the distance. The activity tonight brought to you by Kawasaki Jet Ski Watercraft. For a limited time only, get up to $1,000 cash back on selected jet ski watercraft. See your dealer, get all the details. And by Excalibur Auto Polish, designed to protect and defend your car. Comes from the folks at Turtle Wax. Cage Cam tonight. We have Cage Cam all the time. We got terrific shots tonight, especially from Kenny Irwin's car. For your CarQuest dealer, give them a call, 1-800-492-HEART. We thank the CarQuest guys for the Cage Cam. Yeah, there was a lot of movement in the top 20 here tonight. Guys up, guys down. Irwin looked like he was going to win the thing and then ended up going backwards. But all in all, made for a pretty wild show.
Yeah, Taylor Darlin ran the second half of the race as fast as the leaders did, but when he got that lap down, he never could make it up anymore.
And by the way, Donnie Beechler got to 4th.
That's right.
He didn't win the race. We're going to take one more commercial break before we come back and say goodbye from IRP.